Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story so chilling, so expertly executed, it sounds like something straight out of a spy thriller. But trust me, this is real. This is happening right now in one of the most remote and unforgiving places on Earth. We're talking about a perfect mass murder, where the victims don't leave a body, don't leave a witness, and don't even leave a footprint. They just vanish. Pause for dramatic effect. This isn't just any crime. It's a conspiracy of silence, pointing to a motive far darker than the Siberian winter night itself. If you were ready to join the hunt for the truth about the phantoms who are wiping an iconic predator from the face of the earth, hit that subscribe button and let's not look back. First, you have to truly understand the place. We're talking Siberia. This isn't just a dot on the map, it's a living, breathing entity, a state of mind. Imagine an ocean of trees, the taiga, a green and white monster so vast it covers an area larger than the United States and Mexico combined. In winter, temperatures plummet so low your breath freezes into crystals before it even hits the ground, and the air bites so fiercely it hurts to breathe. This is a land of extremes, a prehistoric wilderness that chews up and spits out the unprepared. And for 10,000 years, this brutal kingdom has had an undisputed ruler, the magnificent gray wolf. But hold on, this isn't the wolf you might picture from a national park documentary. The Siberian wolf, Canis lupus communis, is in a league of its own. These giants can weigh up to 200 pounds, cloaked in thick, silver-tipped coats that make them blend into the snow-dusted landscape like pure ghosts. They possess bone-crushing jaws and an incredible stamina that allows them to run for days without tiring. Beyond their physical prowess, they have a terrifying intelligence. A wolf pack isn't just a group of animals, it's a superorganism, a collection of minds operating as one. They communicate with an intricate language of posture, scent, and howls that modern science is still struggling to fully comprehend. They are the true apex predators, the masters of this domain. And now, incredibly, they are the victims. Our dedicated detective in this chilling cold case is a man who seems carved from the taiga itself, Vladimir Bologov. By profession, he's a Russian biologist, but in his very soul, he is a wolf man. He spent over 30 years out here, enduring conditions that would break most people in a mere week. His face is a living roadmap of frostbite and windburn, but his eyes? They are sharp, missing absolutely nothing. He doesn't just study these wolves, he knows them. He'll follow their tracks for weeks, surviving on frozen bread and hot tea, sleeping under the vast, starry skies while listening to their ancient chorus. He understands the unique personality of individual packs, their territories, their sophisticated hunting strategies. To Vladimir, the howl of a wolf isn't just a sound, it's a signature, a family portrait painted on the air. And then, one by one, those unique signatures started vanishing. It began subtly around the early 2000s. A pack Vladimir had been observing for 5 years in the Tver region suddenly went dark. He had GPS collars on the alpha pair, and one day their signals, which updated every few hours, simply ceased to exist. They didn't even trigger the mortality signal, which activates after 8 hours of immobility. They just blinked out, completely gone. A cold dread settled deep in Bologov's gut. Armed with a pack mule and a week's worth of supplies, he set out to find them. He journeyed deep into their core territory, a vast river valley walled in by ancient pines. He knew this place like the back of his hand. It should have been teeming with life. There should have been tracks everywhere. Wolf, moose, boar, a complex story written in the snow. Instead, he found a perfect, horrifying blankness, an unbroken sheet of white. The silence was profoundly wrong. It wasn't the peaceful quiet of a deep winter forest. It was a dead, sterile silence, the silence of a vacuum. He spent days circling the area, his dread growing with every agonizing step. No scent markers, no kill sites, not a single paw print. Nothing. It was, as he later told a journalist, like walking through a graveyard where even the ghosts had been murdered. An entire family of 12 wolves, a dynasty that had ruled this valley for generations, had been erased without a trace. Bologov knew instinctively this wasn't nature's doing. No rival pack could achieve such a clean sweep. A disease outbreak would have left bodies, evidence of suffering. So he was left with only one other explanation: humans. But the official story, simple poaching, felt laughably wrong. Your average local poacher in Siberia is often a struggling individual with an old bolt-action rifle and a rusty snowmobile. They're trying to make a few $100s on a wolf pelt. They might get lucky and ambush a single wolf, But to outsmart and annihilate an entire 12-member pack of hypervigilant Siberian wolves, animals that can smell a human from 2 miles away, and to do it so cleanly, leaving not a single body, not a single drop of blood, not even a shell casing, it was technically impossible. The math was wrong. The skill set required was wrong. The motive based on pelt value was wrong. Wolf pelts simply weren't that valuable to justify such an elaborate operation. This was something else entirely. This was professional. As Bologov and other concerned researchers dug deeper, a terrifying picture began to emerge. They started finding the killer's tracks, not boot prints, but the deep, aggressive treads of high-performance ski-doo snowmobiles, machines that cost more than an entire village house and can hit 100 miles an hour on a frozen lake. They found hidden camps, littered not with vodka bottles and cheap tins, but with the refuse of a high-tech operation, empty packets of military-grade rations, encrypted satellite phone batteries, and specialized equipment boxes. This wasn't a hunting party. This was a paramilitary force. Ghosts, armed to the teeth. Interviews with terrified locals, whispered in smoky cabins for a promise of anonymity, slowly filled in the grisly details. These weren't hunters. They were assassins. They'd fly in on private helicopters to pre-scouted zones. They used thermal imaging and night vision to track the packs from a distance, turning the wolves' greatest advantage, the vast, dark wilderness, into a death trap. Then, under the cover of a blizzard, the assault would begin. A team on high-speed snowmobiles would harry the pack, chasing them through waist-deep snow, forcing them to burn through their legendary stamina until they were exhausted, panicked, and utterly broken. Then the shooters would pick them off one by one, with suppressed long-range rifles. It wasn't a hunt, it was a cold, calculated slaughter. And the motive? It was even darker, even more twisted than the crime itself. They discovered that the pelts were merely a byproduct. The real prize was what lay inside the wolves. An insatiable, illicit demand from the black market for traditional Chinese medicine was fueling this carnage. In this shadowy world, a wolf's penis can be sold as an aphrodisiac for thousands of dollars. Its gallbladder is ground into a powder, believed by some to cure various diseases. Every single part of the animal, from its teeth to its liver, has a horrifying price tag. These crews were acting as mobile organ harvesters, field dressing these magnificent animals and carving them up for parts, then hauling the carcasses away to leave absolutely no evidence. The ancient czar of the taiga was being reduced to a list of ingredients for a fraudulent, multi-billion-dollar industry. But there was another, even more specific and equally disturbing demand. Among Russia's nouveau riche, the Moscow oligarchs and powerful insiders, a new exotic status symbol had emerged, a terrifying and incredibly rare pet known as the Black Devil. The goal was to breed the ultimate guard dog by crossing a pure-blooded male Siberian wolf with a specific powerful line of Caucasian shepherd. To create this monstrosity, you need to start with the purest source code, a live wolf pup, stolen directly from the wild. This chilling requirement explained the utter ruthlessness of the pack exterminations. The easiest, most efficient way to get your hands on a litter of cubs is to track the pack back to its den. Slaughter the alpha male and the fiercely protective mother, kill the other pack members who would fiercely defend them, and then simply snatch the pups from the den. An entire family tree is liquidated for just 2 or 3 valuable pups that will then be sold for tens of thousands of dollars to live a short, miserable life in a golden cage, far from their natural home. This whole horrific operation runs on the insidious fuel of corruption. You simply cannot run helicopter-borne hit squads deep in the vast Russian wilderness without someone in power looking the other way. Local forestry officials, often underpaid and overwhelmed, can be bought off with a few $1,000s. Regional politicians with deep ties to Moscow can ensure flight plans are never logged and vital patrol reports mysteriously go missing. This isn't just simple poaching, it's an organized criminal enterprise with deep systemic roots. Vladimir Bologov's lonely war continues. He and a small, incredibly brave cadre of conservationists are trying to hold back this destructive tide, tracking these phantom teams, setting up their own patrols, risking their lives to confront heavily armed criminals. But they are desperately outmanned and outgunned. The haunting silence in the taiga is spreading like a cancer, an unnatural quiet. The mournful howl, the iconic sound that defined this ancient land for millennia, is slowly but surely being extinguished, one valley at a time. This perfect crime isn't just about the tragic death of an animal. It's about the erasure of a soul, the very spirit of the wilderness, all for nothing more than profit and ego. And we might just be the very last generation with a chance to read it, to truly understand it, before the final page is irrevocably turned. If you believe a crime this perfect deserves to be exposed, if you feel compelled to stand up for the wild, then please smash that like button, share this story, and subscribe for more truths from the darkest, most beautiful corners of our wild world. Thank you for watching, and let's keep fighting the good fight.